Do you think there are people sitting in jail, sitting in prison today for arrests you made that now you're questioning?
I know they are.
Tonight, 8 News investigates a police department making arrests where they had no right to make them. AJ Legault's been investigating this apparent abuse of police power for months and joins us live now with a story you'll see only on 8. AJ?
Juan, making up their own rules and making arrests out of bounds. That's just what we've uncovered Richmond's public housing police department has been doing for years.
The scream of a siren, blue lights flashing, a sinking feeling in the pit of your stomach. Most of us, like VCU professor Jayasima Atulasima,
It was 5 years back.
have probably been there a time or two.
I was just pulled over for a wrong turn.
This story is not about a driver's wrong turn. It is about the wrong turn Richmond's public housing police department took at its very inception.
It really opens Pandora's box.
It does.
The death of the RRHA Police Department has been headline news since April 1st, when it was shut down and locked up tight with no warning. A former officer agreed to speak with us on the condition we protect his identity.
You're dealing with people's lives. You're dealing with officers' jobs, their careers. You don't lie to us. You don't lie to the people.
The lie the officer is referring to was written right on RRHAPD's webpage. The department provides citywide law enforcement authority, which enables officers to make arrests on and off RRHA property.
When you worked for RRHAPD, you made arrests off of RRHA property?
Absolutely, on numerous occasions.
Why?
At the time, we were informed by the chief of police as well as some of the command staff. We had citywide jurisdiction.
But who gave the public housing police authority to make arrests off of public housing property? Our investigation discovers the answer to that is no one.
Every police department's supposed to have its jurisdiction spelled out and filed in an official court document. For example, Capitol Police have enforcement power within Capitol Square and 300 feet beyond. A University of Richmond officer's jurisdiction is on university grounds and adjacent streets. But the court has no record of any kind regarding RRHA and its officers' jurisdiction.
That's a problem.
Responding to our Freedom of Information request, both RRHA and the Richmond Police Department also could provide no documentation granting RRHA citywide arrest powers. U of R law professor Hank Chambers finds our discovery extremely troubling.
We have laws for a reason. And we have limitations on jurisdictions for a reason.
We went back to the very founding of the department. In 2006, Hal Hazelton, the public safety chief at RRHA, petitioned Virginia's Department of Criminal Justice Services to make his department an official criminal justice agency. He wrote his department was established to work towards the detection and apprehension of persons engaged in illegal drug and criminal activity in and around RRHA property. But it wasn't long before the public housing cops began extending their authority well beyond in and around RRHA property.
Do you think, looking back now, knowing what you know, do you think you had a right to do that?
I can't say. I would say no. I haven't been able to find anything that justifies us being able to do that.
Our search of records uncovered numerous traffic stops and arrests made nowhere near RRHA property. This citation for possession of drug paraphernalia was issued in front of City Hall at 9th and Broad. Professor Atulasima was ticketed for disregarding a red light at West Broad and Belvedere.
It's good that such an investigative report has been taken up.
The record of arrests we obtained made off of RRHA property by their police department goes on and on and on.
I don't think most people, including prosecutors, expected or thought RRHA was roaming the city executing arrests.
We took the results of our investigation to Richmond Commonwealth Attorney Mike Herring.
You raised the example of a drug charge or a cocaine charge. Well, in all likelihood, that cocaine was discovered in the course of an RRHA officer's search. And if it's not within RRHA jurisdiction, then that's probably a defective arrest and prosecution.
Who gave you that authority to make those arrests?
That's my question as well. Who gives us that authority?
And right now, you don't know?
I have no clue.
No clue. The people who should have one are former Chief Hal Hazelton, who's told us to talk to his attorney, and RRHA CEO Adrian Goolsby. We've reached out to Goolsby countless times in the last year about apparent fraud and mismanagement in her agency. the only response we get,
I don't have any comment.
but less than 2 weeks after we began demanding records spelling out the department's jurisdiction, Goolsby sent out a press release announcing the police department was being discontinued in order to focus on the core mission of providing housing services. A couple days later, they wrote to 8 News regarding our demands for proof of their claim to citywide jurisdiction that they had no additional records.
Do you think there are people sitting in jail, sitting in prison today for arrests you made that now you're questioning?
I know they are.
You know it.
I know it.
The Richmond Commonwealth's Attorney's Office is looking into this situation and has written a letter to RRHA telling them they need to preserve all their arrest records. We've reached out to former Chief Hazelton's attorney and have received no response, Juan.
All right, AJ, the Commonwealth's attorney said defective arrest and prosecution. Incredible stuff here. What does this mean for folks who've been arrested by RRHA police?
Well, if you were arrested or ticketed by RRHA officers off of RRHA property, you may have a case to see your conviction overturned. The Commonwealth attorney tells me if people come to his office with questions about one of these arrests, they're going to review them on a case-by-case basis.